Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. It's June 3rd, 2016. This is Christopher Aaron, and we're going to look. This is a quick video, not our regular broadcast. We're going to look at the silver trade idea that I see developing, and I want to try to get this up by Friday afternoon in case anyone wants to follow or participate in this trade. I think this is going to be a fairly big one. So let's take a look at it. What is the setup here? The setup was the dismal jobs report that came out today. This fits in with the technical analysis that we've been studying, and we see a significant drop in the dollar today, over 1.5, right around 1.5 points on the dollar index, which measures the dollar against foreign currencies. And we see as a result of this the price of gold surging today, and also the price of silver surging. We noted this as a potential bottom in the last video, and it looks very strongly like that is going to turn out to be the case. But what we want to do is actually look at this in a broader perspective and see if there's an opportunity to make some serious money in the short term. And what we're talking about here is a paper trade, and this is not appropriate for trading physical metal. Physical metal I still recommend to be accumulating for the more significant move that is going to come over the next few years. This is simply a short-term trade, and know that I do both of these things, and I believe they are not mutually exclusive. In other words, it is quite possible to do trading on one hand and then to use those profits, for example, to invest in physical metal or in mining equities, or just to pay your bills or to buy a new house, depending on the size of the trade. So all we're looking at here is the setup for this trade. We mentioned this last time. Just a quick review. We have Silver Wheaton on the top, the SLV fund here in the middle, silver bullion on the bottom, noting that silver prices came right down to this rising trend line here, just in the vicinity of this support band. And we noted the massive outperformance that Silver Wheaton was showing. Now, why do we use Silver Wheaton? The truth is that it works best. What is the reason that it works best? I don't know. It has fixed input costs and variable output costs as far as the price of silver. Are there other silver miners that are also in the top tier? Yes. I've been observing this relationship for the better part of the last 10 years, and I'm simply saying that this works the best for me as far as identifying these trades. I've not seen any of the other miners provide such strong leadership as Silver Wheaton does. So, does that mean that Silver Wheaton is the best company to invest in? No. It simply means that I use it to identify this trade setup because it has worked the best for me over the last few years. So we're looking at the outperformance here from October. We're talking about the reaction high from silver right here, and we were talking about this reaction high in Silver Wheaton, and we're seeing Silver Wheaton way above, almost closing in on the highs here for this move, whereas the price of silver in the SLV fund is still back down at the reaction highs. So this was telling me that this surge was brewing, it was getting ready. And in fact, I believe the surge that we saw today is just the beginning of what should last for roughly the next 2 to 4 weeks. And I think we will be following an upward trajectory to make another attempt at the $17.50 or $18 level on bullion prices, which corresponds to roughly 17 on the SLV fund. Now, zooming this in, just to look at this quickly over the last 20 days, we can see here Silver Wheaton breaking that downtrend yesterday, and then boom, look at that shot higher. SLV fund still way below the corresponding area, so I think there is potential here. I think the price of this is leading us to say that silver will be rising over the next several weeks. I want to try to capture that on a leveraged basis. So the options here, if you wanted to participate in this trade, You could do this on a one-to-one basis using the SLV fund. You could do this on a leveraged basis, 2 or 3-to-1, using AGQ or USLV. Keep in mind these funds suffer from a pretty horrible decay effect if they're held for longer than a few weeks. If you want even more leverage, you can use futures, of course. Then you can deposit as much as you want into that account and leverage that accordingly. If you want even more leverage, you can do what I have done today, which is to take a significant risk and buy SLV 16 calls in the June 17th to 30th time frame. I have bought the June 17th calls for $14 each, and we can follow that, and I'll show you the results of that over the next few weeks. If you wanted to be a little bit more conservative, you could move out into the June 24th or June 30th time frame. That would cut into your profits but give you a little bit more margin of time for this. So I'm telling you my trade right now, SLV 16 June 17th calls purchased today, and we will monitor this trade going forward. Not recommended, again, trading your physical silver. And as human beings, we must build in a margin of error. So what is our margin of error? It's the stop. So what we're saying here is that we are not perfect. We can never be perfect, and we have to build that knowledge in to our trading program here. So if silver falls below $16 on the spot price, we will exit this trade at a modest loss or a moderate loss, depending on the vehicle that we use, always keeping sure that the portion of our trading capital that we're using is moderate compared to our other investments. So if that were to happen, we admit that this was a failed trade setup. We step back, we regroup, we look at the charts again for perhaps another setup a month or 2 or 3 down the road. That's typically the way that I trade these sorts of things. So thank you. I hope this helps, and if you can participate or want to follow, that's great. And I've had a number of people expressing interest in this kind of thing, which is why I chose to share this trade right now. I will consider, if there's enough interest in this, perhaps launching this as a separate service. It doesn't really work very well for issuing written reports or for producing videos because these things take so long to upload and to process. It's a number of hours to upload these things. So this would work better as probably a separate trade service, which is something that I'm considering due to the demand that I perceive for that. So thank you again. Have a lovely weekend, and let's watch for this silver surge over the next 2 to 4 weeks. And it won't be the final move for silver. This is simply a short-term surge that we see developing. Thank you.